I'm live. I thought I was going to be late, but I'm not late because we were able to get what we need to get done and get back here relatively on time. So yay, I'm hoping this is working and that you all can see me. I'll make sure I have chat on. Hold on, I'm looking at the comments that were already in here. Oh, you guys are so great. I promise it's not the end of the world. This is not dire. I just need to talk to you. God, this is gross. Let me clean it off. Maybe I have hella laundry that's sitting next to me, and I have a kitty. My kids are out doing their own thing. I'm gonna use this to make sure this is clean. Clean. See, I'm hashtag professional. Hi, everybody. Okay, it's warm. I want to have the window open, but there's a really annoying dog yapping in my backyard. Hold on, let me go check and see. Okay, if it gets annoying, we will stop. I actually probably should move this because I'm trying to find somewhere to stream where my kids aren't in my face, and I'm worried my phone is gonna die. So maybe I'll move it over here. That's my belly. Hold on. Hold up. Hold up. Wait, in here? No, that's not gonna work. Here? No, that's not gonna work. I could hold it. Let's just hold it. Let's hold it for a little while. We'll see if this works. Okay. So I can't stay on forever because I gotta make dinner. All right, let me see what we got going on here in the comments. Do I already get a super chat? WTF, mate? Who is it from? I can't find it. I wasn't looking and it's gone. Who was it? Scrolling. Oh, there we found it. Janice. Thank you for the super chat. Janice sent me before I started. That's so nice of you. Okay. I saw, and look, we got a kitty who's cleaning himself, which is what kitties do. It's okay, Tiara. I know you're in school. Thank you, Christine, for the super chat. Love you too. All right. So I might as well quickly, I'm not going anywhere. I feel like maybe I clickbaited this a little. I don't think it's clickbait though, but it's really easy to make assumptions, especially with my health being the way it is. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Alaskan cat. Yeah, when somebody says we need to talk. So let me explain. I saw my vascular surgeon last week. It's the person who is handling my fistula. And I do indeed need to go back in for surgery. My fistula itself is healthy, but it is in a bad place in my arm. It is too deep for them to be able to use it. So I'll show you. If you look at my arm here, I don't know if I can show you with two hands. You can see the lump in my elbow, but you can't see it anywhere else in my arm. That's not actually good. You want it to be lumpy and kind of gross looking because then they can reach more aspects of it to utilize it. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Amberly. You guys do not have to throw super chats at me. I swear to God. All right. I'm not breaking up with you, I promise. I'm not breaking up with you. Hey, Nicole. It has been forever, hasn't it? All right. So my fistula, I guess the easiest way to explain it is nice house, bad location. So I have to go in for more surgery. On top of that, I don't know if you can see very well here, but the veins on my upper arm, you can see them kind of being lumpy and really obvious. They weren't always that obvious. It's branching out, which means that the high pressure system of my fistula is pushing out into other blood vessels in my arm. And that's also not great because that's taking some of the pressure away from the fistula itself. So I have to go back in for surgery. This surgery, if you're squeamish, this is not maybe something you want to hear, is going to be an incision that runs like this up my arm. Like this. And when my doctor told me that, I was like, aha, thanks. Great. Right? But it's so that she can go in there and raise my fistula to the surface and also tie off all of the veins that it is branching off into. So anyway, She said that I'm not going to die, I swear. I'm not dying. I'm not dying anytime soon. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. What this means, though, is that my recovery is likely going to be as sucky, if not maybe slightly more sucky, than my fistula surgery back in January. In January, I had 2 incisions because the first one didn't work. This time it's 1 incision, but it's much bigger. The doctor said the surgery is less complicated because it's actually fairly simple. It's like housekeeping. They're going to go in and just do some house cleaning on my fistula as opposed to creating one, which is a great thing. But that it's going to be a bit more of a painful recovery because the incision is going to be so big. So basically, yes, Stephanie, they have to manually put it where they want to. Now, when I did the other fistula surgery, I had recovery time and I still was able to keep up with everything because I had prepared for it ahead of time and my recovery was a couple of weeks. However, this surgery is either going to happen in the next couple of weeks itself or in July. Fun fact, my book deadlines are also the end of June and the end of July. The end of June for the majority of the book, the end of July for the rest of it. So if you can't imagine, there has been some high stress levels in the Guentert-Baldo household since I found out about this. I also just got back from a trip. I went to Washington for the Scrapbook Expo. If you were there, throw some emojis in the chat. It was great fun, but I'm exhausted. We're supposed to go visit my sister. We're supposed to take the kids to summer camp. Katie has band camp. Katie's getting braces. There's a lot going on this summer. And, yeah, well, the kids won't be in school, so that's nice, but they're teenagers, so we'll see how it goes. So I was thinking, what do I do to make sure that I can stay on top of my shit and not completely lose it? I'm not, okay, so the funny thing is, some of you guys are probably thinking, oh, she's not going to post any videos. That's actually not true. I will continue to post videos, but I'm going to cut down the number of videos I post for the months of June and July, to make sure that I can stay on top of things and not completely fall off the map. I don't want to fall off the map. Lives on pain meds will actually probably happen. And I'm going to still be going live this Sunday for a live plan with me with Puffy stickers. That's still happening. So that's coming up on this Sunday, the 9th at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, because I have something going on in the morning, so I'm not going to be able to do it at 2:30. But I'm going to go down to 2 to 3 videos per week, not counting lives, for the next couple of months, as opposed to the 4, sometimes 5 videos I post. Yeah. I'm just scrolling and looking. Yeah. A personal assistant would be amazing right now. I should make my 15-year-old do it. Yeah, so I'm not, and this isn't me trying to take on too much. Summertime is great because a lot of the stuff that goes on at church goes to kind of like a low, oh, I forgot, I'm giving a sermon in July. Yeah, you guys, this always happens. The last time I had surgery, I had to delegate my sermon to somebody else. I wrote it, but they had to read it. Yeah, I have a sermon in July. So, hell yes, do I take on too much. Thank you for the super chat, Amy. I didn't want to completely stop because I don't like completely stopping. Majority reason being that I actually struggle to get started again. When I stop something, I've had to take breaks before because I've been stressed out or whatever, and it's actually been really hard to get going again. So if I can take it to a minimum while still keeping it going, that's actually going to be more helpful for me. And aside from the sermon, a lot of the stuff at church that I'm usually involved in goes into hiatus for the summer, so I'm not worried about that. It's, I'm giving at least one of my kids a summer job working for me. I don't know if I trust the other one. Oh, I'm so glad you got Steve stickers, Cindy. I'm really excited about the sermon. I want to give it. I'm going to be singing a Dear Evan Hansen song if I am still giving it. So, yeah. So that's the big update. I know it probably seemed like I was going to like break up with you or something, but that's not it. It's just for me, when I commit to doing something like doing a certain amount of videos, for me, it's a really big deal to drop down the number of videos I'm doing, because it's, when I make the commitment to myself to do it, I hold myself accountable, but I'm not always great at that. But when I make the commitment to you guys, even if you're not holding me to it, if I'm holding me to it for your sake, then let's put this a different way. I'm more concerned with what you guys think than what I think sometimes. I'm not breaking up with you. The podcast will also still continue as is for right now. It's 1 episode a week. I have several interviews already recorded that just need to be edited. So if there comes a point where I can't record one for myself, I can throw an interview up there. As far as I know, if I do have to take a break with the podcast, I probably will, but I haven't needed to do that yet. And Patreon, the only break I'm going to take is during the surgery itself, because Patreon stuff is actually not difficult for me to stay on top of. And and I love doing it. So it makes me happy. So it's mostly the YouTube channel, which is actually one of my favorite things to do. I need to not overdo things. Oh, there's opinions. I'm reading. You guys are awesome. We wouldn't let you leave us. Yeah, Spikes. Yeah, my pain tracker, Jessica, this year, I need to like just make a notation. I had surgeries this year, so both pain trackers are a little fucked. Cindy lettering from the bed. Jessie does a planner voiceover. There's a lot of good, why am I brain farting? A lot of good suggestions. That's the word. I can English today. Yeah, I probably will go write. I'm not going to write them down now because I only have so many hands, but I will write them down. Okay, so the other update that I have is that I talked to the transplant center, and they have decided to take my kidneys out when I get my kidneys removed, when my GFR drops, which it's still holding steady for right now, which I think I've said to you guys before already, but I'm saying it again. They said I don't know for sure if they're going to, but they say that they want to as soon as my kidney function drops. And they're letting me start to reach out to potential donors. So if you have reached out to me in the past, and I know there is at least one of you in the chat who has, I will give you that information soon. Right now I'm checking with my insurance to see how many people I can have going through the process at any given time that they will cover. So as soon as I know that, I will reach out to you and give you some information. But I'm not going to post it for everybody yet because as of right now, they don't want me overwhelming the system. So, yeah. But other than that, I mean, I'm not feeling great. I'm feeling crappy, but that's kind of how it goes. So, thank you, Crystal. You will give me, if you want to give me a kidney and you actually seriously do, at some point I will have a website for you to go. This is not me begging for a kidney, although I probably will at some point if I need to. But do a plan with me where you tell Jesse what to do and he has to figure out what the heck you mean. That's funny. As transplant, okay, so here's the thing. With kidney disease, a transplant is not a cure. A transplant is a treatment. You will still have the disease and the transplant won't last forever. It doesn't have the same shelf life as a kidney that is like an actual your kidney. With PKD, it's genetic. So the person who delivers the kidney to you, whether it's a cadaver kidney or whether it's a living donor kidney, that kidney does not have PKD. So the kidney will not get the same problems that your native kidneys do. However, if they leave the kidneys inside you, your regular native kidneys, which is normally what they do, you will still have the problems from those kidneys. You will just have more kidney function. For me right now, about 20% of my issues come from having low kidney function, and 80% of them come from the size of my kidneys, because my kidneys are really big and my kidney function is not so low that I'm having massive problems from it yet. It's low enough where I'm having problems, but it's not so low that it's destroying me. So with PKD, if they take your kidneys out, then that helps alleviate some of the problem. My liver also has a lot of cysts in it, but I can't get that removed until I get a liver transplant. So that's something else I'll worry about later. Thank you for the super chat, Elizabeth. I appreciate this. Laura, I will keep you in mind. Galena, I'll keep you in mind too. Hi, Kristen. Yeah, native kidneys versus, I guess, immigrant kidney. I don't know if that's a good way to put it. Um, PKD, there's actually polycystic liver disease as well. I don't think I have that. I think I just have cysts on my liver. When my dad died and they autopsied him, he had cysts all over his abdomen. They had spread really badly. He probably should have had his kidneys removed. What's the one thing that your kids understand? Hey, Aaron, what's the one thing that your kids understand about chronic illness that makes you appreciate them more? Um, let's see. With Katie, it's that Katie can tell that I'm hurting even when I haven't said anything. Katie can read it from my movements. And and I appreciate that Katie pays that much attention. I don't like that it stresses Katie out, but I do like that Katie notices and is careful about me when I'm hurting. With RJ, he is so practical. When we were at the hospital when I got my fistula surgery, he was not, even when I was in there extra long, even when he saw me and I was all doped up and I was all bandaged, and even when I was recovering, that kid did not get ruffled because he said that one day you're going to have more surgery to get a transplant and that's going to be scarier. And so for right now, I'm not going to worry about it because I know you got this. And just having him be that like level headed was admirable, especially because Jesse was worried he was going to be stressed out, and then Jess was going to be stressed out, and it was going to be a pile of stress. So Jesse was free to stress out and not worry so much about RJ because RJ was like, we got this, dude. And I appreciated that. I'm scrolling and looking. You have a friend who has kidney disease, fourth stage. She refused dialysis because it would kill her faster. She had cancer years ago. Yeah, for me, if I don't wind up getting a living donor transplant because my wait for a cadaver list kidney is 10 plus years because of my blood type, um, then I will do dialysis. Our goal is, if I have to do dialysis, to do at-home hemodialysis so that there will actually be a dialysis machine here in my bedroom and I do it while I sleep. But if I have to go on dialysis short term before getting a transplant, like if we know it's only going to be a couple of months, then I'll probably do it in center like my sister did. My sister's plan was to do at-home dialysis, but because she was only doing it for 8 weeks before she got her transplant, they already had it lined up. Um, she didn't want to go. It takes 6 weeks to train to do at-home dialysis, and Amy didn't want to use that time off of work because she needed it for the transplant. So she just went to the center. I'm scrolling. I'm trying to answer you guys because I'm here to answer some questions. So I'm trying to make sure I catch them. So if I don't, I'm sorry. You're hoarding your kidney in case your son ever needs one. I appreciate that you want to do that, Crystal, because that's amazing. Do a PKD podcast. I thought about it. I mean, I've sort of done one with Amy, kind of, but not really. If I can accept your immigrant kidneys work visa, can you listen to it like people do with hearts? I don't think so. I don't think kidneys beat. You can feel my kidneys, but you're not supposed to because they're so big. um, can you hear? Yeah, kids guest on the podcast. Maybe if they're in a less teenagery mood, because right now they're kind of pretty fucking teenagery. What type of blood type am I? I am O positive, which is the universal donor but can only accept O organs. And I have antibodies because of being pregnant. What do you wish doctors were more sympathetic, better about talking to you about? Daniela, I actually, for the most part, my doctors are amazing. And I actually took a survey that they offer at UCSF for PKD patients and how they are talked to about their kidney disease at the transplant center. I think the only issue, and it's mostly my issue, but I think it's just something doctors just continue to need to be cognizant of, is the conversation with PKD patients around pain management. Because since you can't see our kidneys, when we talk about the pain that we're in, it can get really humiliating to have to ask for pain care, to pain medication. Like my doctor was really great about my pain meds this last time around when the surgeons had said they were going to take my kidneys out, because it was like, oh, well, they're going to take them out. Then obviously they must be giving you pain. So This was my primary doctor, not my nephrologist, because in my healthcare system, my nephrologist is not the one who prescribes pain medication. So yeah. I'm scrolling, catching some situations here. Thea, your mom's on home dialysis? Huh. Jessica, have they looked into the other type of dialysis? Yes, my kidneys are too large. They have to put like 3 liters of fluid into your abdomen to do peritoneal, I can't fucking say it, peritoneal dialysis, and I don't have the room. It would be, I'm already uncomfortable as it is. Adding fluid to my abdomen would, even though it's less invasive, it would be more painful for me. Tell us more about PKD. Were you born with it? Have you had issues all of your life with it? I was born with it. It's genetic. I have the dominant form of PKD, which is the one that presents mostly like it starts becoming a thing when you're an adult. There is a recessive form of PKD that is juvenile and it shows up in kids. Mine, usually you don't start having symptoms until you're an adult. I was diagnosed when I was 21 when my dad died from an aneurysm that he had as a result of PKD. He didn't have health insurance because he was super poor and his blood pressure got out of control because of his kidney disease. And when he died and they autopsied him, there were cysts everywhere. It happened right after 9/11 happened, and we wanted to donate whatever we could, corneas, skin grafts, whatever, to the work in New York. And we couldn't donate anything because of how badly his system had deteriorated. My sisters and I got checked when when my dad died, and 2 of us wound up having it. We were checked via ultrasound, so our baby sister so far has not shown any signs, but we don't know for sure if she doesn't have it or not. But usually, if it hasn't shown up into your 40s, then you're okay. There is a genetic test, but it's really expensive to get right now, so I don't think Becca has checked that yet. I didn't start having real symptoms and problems until my late 20s. I had blood pressure problems when I was pregnant with RJ, but my blood pressure started becoming a problem in my late 20s, and then as my 30s progressed, it was early 30s when it really started to give me problems, and probably 34 or so when I started really feeling it. And the last couple of years, I'm 39 now, the last couple of years have been pretty awful. My other sister has it. She got a transplant from her husband in September, but she still has her native kidneys. They didn't want to take hers out. Her transplant center didn't want to take hers out. They want to take them out now if she's willing to go through more abdominal surgery. How can they just take your kidneys out? Well, they wouldn't do it unless they had another kidney to put in there. So it's if I get a living donor, they'll take my kidneys out. Some transplant centers like don't want to take them out because nephrectomy is a bit more of a surgery than transplant, because with nephrectomy you're removing your kidneys and they're hooked up to everything. And with PKD, the kidneys are so massive and they've pushed your organs around and they're huge that it requires a lot of the times a bigger incision because they can't do it laparoscopically a lot of the time. So there's that. The other reason they don't usually take kidneys out, the native kidneys out when they give you a transplant, is because they want to make sure the transplant's working before they take the kidneys out. Because once your kidneys are gone, you don't have kidney function anymore. So with my sister, they gave Amy the transplant, and now it's been like 9 months, and they're like, okay, or like 6 months. It's been some amount of months, and they're like, okay, maybe we'll take your kidneys out now. And Amy's worried about getting a second surgery. So it depends. Some places do it all at once. Some places do it, take one kidney out in the morning, and then the next day they take the other one and put the other kidney in. Other times my grandma still has her native kidneys because hers never got that big. And so she has her PKD kidneys and her cadaver transplant. She's had them for 15 years and has been okay with it. So it depends on the case. Oh, there's a troll. Sorry. Got it. I'm scrolling and looking. Crystal, yeah, the pain meds thing sucks, dude. Have my kids been tested for PKD? Not yet. We're not going to get them tested until they're older, unless they want to be, because of the way healthcare is in the United States right now. I'm really hesitant to saddle them with a pre-existing condition that they can't do anything about. There's nothing they can do about it right now, even if they have it. If they want to know, then we will get them tested. Otherwise, we'll wait until they're a little bit older and it matters a little bit more. Their doctor knows to keep an eye on their blood pressure, to keep an eye out for kidney infections. Neither of them have had a kidney infection, which is a good sign. I had a couple of bladder infections and kidney infections when I was growing up. That put me into the hospital. So, yeah, we're waiting for right now. But if they want to know, of course, we'll find out. It's really hard to talk about it around them because I sometimes talk more than I should about it because my dad never talked about it and it blindsided us when we found out. I don't want them to be blindsided, but I also don't necessarily need to give them so much information. Jesse's really good at kind of like grabbing me and being like, dude, shut up. um, I'm scrolling and kind of looking here to see what's going on. Auto transplant where they move the kidney. There's a lot of ways they can do it. It's pretty epic. Yeah, exactly, Pink Lady. Like my brother-in-law had a little rougher of it. It's because the way they put it is that, you know, when you give someone a kidney, which is an amazing thing to do, it is amazing. But the way the doctor put it was, you're making the person you're giving the kidney to a little bit better and making yourself a little bit sicker. Like, it's still completely possible to live a healthy, active, amazing life with one kidney. There are people who are born with one kidney. Your kidney will likely, if you donate, I'm not advocating you donate to me. I'm just saying in the case of living donors, generally speaking, living donor kidneys grow a little bit. And like the original kid, not the donor kidney you give to the person, but the kidney you keep, your personal kidney that you hang on to as a donor, it usually grows and it starts to make up for some of what your other kidney didn't do. Kidneys are really fucking amazing and can get a lot of work done. They're little workhorses, which is why when you're in kidney failure and you get towards the end, every bit of percentage you lose really hurts because your kidneys are trying so hard to make up for the lack of function that it's like a fight every time you lose function. The other thing is that if you donate a kidney to someone and you ever need a kidney for some reason, you go straight to the top of the donor list because you already gave one. So they're like, hell yeah, you get an extra kidney. So there is that. But yeah, living donor is not for everybody, but I appreciate the shit out of the people who have even thought about giving one to me. My brother-in-law, he told me it was selfish. He said the reason he gave a kidney to my sister was because she's his wife and he wants her around because he loves her and she makes him dinner. And so it's selfish. He wasn't being altruistic. He was doing it for him. Troll in all caps. Thank you. I'm checking. Am I not in top chat? What is going on here? Hold on. Oops, I'm not in live chat. Sorry, that's probably why I missed it. My bad. I got it. I was missing some comments and I was like, what the fuck just happened? Is it more common in women, Ariana? No, not necessarily. I don't think so. My family just has a lot of women. My grandma had 4 sisters, so of them, 4 of the 5 sisters had PKD. I think it's O negative that's a universal donor. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I can't remember. With organ donations, the RH factor doesn't matter. You don't have to be positive or negative to match. It's just your letter type. So for organ donations, if I'm type O positive and you're type O negative and you want to donate to me, I can take your donor. I mean, if you match, but like there's other factors. But the from what they told me at the transplant center, the RH factor is not a factor in how they match kidneys. You want a tour of my bookcase? I might give you one in a minute. My potassium levels are actually really good right now, Pink Lady. Like they're actually fairly they're not perfect, but they're still in normal range, which is good. Gives me a little bit of leeway when it comes to the sadness diet. Um, and I will also say, if you gave your husband a kidney, it would be 100% selfish, Jess. Yeah, I get it. Like, here's the other thing. And I'm not mentioning this to try and get you guys to give me your kidneys. I'm just mentioning this in the sake of if there's ever a point when there's someone you want to donate to and you don't have the same blood type as them, or you don't match them, but you are a qualified donor, you just don't match the person you want to give a kidney or whatever to. There is the paired donor program. You might have heard of this, where you donate an organ to X person who also has a living donor who can't donate to them because they don't match, and you basically trade kidneys. They've had chains. I think the biggest one was like 39 people or something, where one person donated altruistically and all of these other donors got matched to different people because they all had donors, but they couldn't match. My brother-in-law was willing to go into the paired donor program if he matched but couldn't match Amy but could donate. He would have donated to someone else so that Amy could get a kidney faster. Yeah, that's the thing. Not all kidney transplant centers participate in the paired donor program. I think UCSF does, but a lot of, and part of the reason I'm at UCSF, if I was at UC Davis, then those are the two that my healthcare partners with. UC Davis is also a great transplant center, but UCSF actually studies PKD, and so I wanted to go with them even if my wait would be longer, because they actually have a lot of experience with, like, if I was on the East Coast, I would want to go to the Mayo Clinic. So there are certain transplant centers that do a lot of work with PKD, and UCSF is one of them. That's why I went with them, even though my wait is ridiculous there. Your daughter's applying to go to UCD. I went to UC Davis, not in the transplant land. I studied English, but I did go to UC Davis. I'm scrolling and looking. Would I have to lose weight or anything before the fistula surgery? No. For the kidney surgery, not that I know of. I mean, you probably have to fast for the kidney surgery, but for the for the transplant, but for the fistula surgery, I didn't have to fast the last time because they didn't put me out. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Um No, for the kidney surgery. Yeah, for the kidney surgery, I don't think I have to lose weight, at least as far as I know. They told me everything is fine. My sister had to lose weight, but that was because there's BMI limits, and my BMI is not that high. It's not fabulous, but it's not as high as they would like fuck you over. But you do have to fast because you go under anesthesia. So, yeah. For the fistula surgery, I didn't have to fast because I wasn't actually knocked out. They put me into twilight, like into sedation. I fell asleep, but I might have been awake for it. I don't know if they're going to do the same thing with this one. So I didn't have to fast. I just lay there and I fell asleep. Hey, Colleen. Yes, I do have lots of. You're looking for merch. Go to Chrissy Designs. You'll find lots of my lettering there. If I ever do merch for something, and if it's something I do with Kristen, which is what I just do anyway. But if there was something I was going to do, like some other kind of campaign, it would probably be specifically to give money to the PKD Foundation or something. That's probably the only time I would do it. Will I be in the ICU after the transplant? I'm assuming yes. My sister was. Amy was in the ICU for, I think, 3 days, and then was in the regular like recovery part, like the medium level of recovery in the hospital for another like 4 days or something. Aaron, the donor, was in the regular recovery for like 3 days, and then he went home. Amy was in ICU for 3 days and then moved to a different room in a different level of the hospital because they had to check to make sure everything was working. My fistula is working, Mary Kate. It's just in a bad spot, so they have to move it. That's the surgery I have to get again, is they have to go in and like change its spot and clean it up, do some housework, some fistula work. But it's a healthy fistula. It's just a full of fuckery fistula right now. The nasty kidney sticker, I drew that and Kristen has it. Kristen, maybe that's what we should do, is do like a run with the kidney doodle for charity. Like do like a limited edition, as Kristen's in here, putting you on the spot. We should do a shitty kidney merch run and donate some of the proceeds or something for charity. You're welcome, Kristen, for putting you on the spot. We should talk about this later. I hope I didn't just piss you off. Because we don't sell it. I have her make them for me, but it's not a doodle that we sell. Kristen's like, fuck, Cindy. No, not like a 5K. I'm not going to actually run. Are you kidding me? I'm going to walk at a measured pace. Like a run of shirts. That's what I meant. Like a limited edition run of products. Not like a, no, I'm not going to do any, I do not endorse running. But I'm going to give you another kitty shot though. There's a kitty, he's cleaning himself still. Hi, Loki. What's up, bud? He's like, fuck you, I'm cleaning. No, you said let's do it? Okay, good. Good, you're not mad. Okay. Anyway, are there any other questions? I'll take you on a tour of the bookshelf really quick. It's not finished. There's still some shit kind of shoved everywhere. But, Kristen does have Plan With Me's. Kristen is making videos now. Christiane Design's YouTube channel. You should check it out. Have your kids or husband ever been with you when someone fangirls you in public? My kids haven't, but my husband was with me at the Women's March when somebody came up to me and was like, I watch your videos. I just wanted to say hi. And then went off and did. And I was like, they were like, I'm not going to hug you and bother you. And I'm like, you could hug me. But so, yeah, that's about as much as has happened in our, like, in person. Oh, and my kid, one of my kids, one of their friends at school started watching my videos, not knowing it was me, and then was like, that's your mom. What else did I? I'm scrolling. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Megan. Should do other painful body parts. Yeah, that's been something people have asked for. I swear. My favorite books. Oh, God, there are so many. My favorite book of all time is It by Stephen King. And yes, I'm excited about the second movie coming out. Your son giggles every time, I swear. Deadpool as a girl is what he calls me. Leanne, that's amazing. How is PKD different from CKD? CKD is chronic kidney disease. That could be any kidney disease. PKD is very specifically polycystic kidney disease. So PKD actually is CKD. CKD is a blanket term for all chronic kidney diseases. I am not running a 5K. Not gonna happen. I'm scrolling. Did I see Kimberly Clark's new video? I watched a little bit of it earlier today, but I wound up having to do something else and I didn't have the chance to finish watching it. I will be watching the rest of it later, though. I'm glad Kimberly Clark is back to making videos because they're one of my favorites. Let's see here. How was my trip? My trip was good. It was tiring. I'm exhausted today, but it was good. I had a great time. Colleen, make something with us. Made me laugh so hard I thought I was going to pee. I snorted several times. And then I saw another one. Where is it? How many kids do I have? 2. I have a 15-year-old and a 13-year-old. You didn't like the remake, Megan? Boo. No, I'm just kidding. You can like or dislike whatever you want. Am I excited for Good Omens? I think it looks really awesome. I'm currently not in a place to really love on any new TV shows right now. I'm still in post Game of Thrones depression. You'll drive a 5K. That's awesome. Have I had to change my diet? Somewhat. I haven't had to fully change it yet because my levels are still, even though my kidney function is declining, my levels are actually still holding pretty well. So I've been making some adjustments. I have started trying bell peppers, but I have not had to completely overhaul it yet. Thank you, Tressie. Scrolling. Yeah, I told you there's a dog. It's like the house that's across from mine. I survived my first year. Not quite yet. Katie still has finals this week, Maggie. Anna, thank you so much for the super chat. You didn't need to do that. You're a patron already, my dude. Holy shit. Will I tape my song? I would like to. Hopefully. Did I see Rocket Man yet? No, I have not been to the movies since we saw Pet Sematary. Probably get there this summer, assuming I have any time left with writing. Holy shit, Loki. Just jumped into the window and almost went out the screen. The Enemy Within. Do I watch American Horror Story? No, I haven't gotten around to it. I'm not good at watching TV shows. Is blueberry pie a part of the sadness? I actually don't like blueberry pie all that much. I don't like fruit pies. The texture of them really grosses me out. Is there a new podcast today? There should be one up today. It's the second half of the interview with Mika Allen. Thank you, Bridget. Okay, so here's Loki. He's in the window. Probably wondering what's going on with that dog. What are you doing, kitty? Yeah, I know. This is my backyard with, like... All right. Okay, so we'll do a quick bookcase tour here before my phone dies, which is going to happen shortly. Okay, so up here is some books by, like, YouTubers and internet people, like Bowl Full of Lemons, The Bloggist, Emily Lay, Grace Helbig, Lily Singh, George Carlin, who's not a YouTuber. And then this is my parents in their very 80s outfit. And this was my dad's phaser from Star Trek. And that's my grandma and my grandpa. And this is my cousin. There's some pictures. We haven't quite figured out exactly how we want to do this. Like I said, this isn't really... This is my grandma, too. This isn't really styled yet. All right. On this shelf, again, not really styled. Just some books of Jesse's. That copy of World of Warcraft, the Wrath of the Lich King, was the version of WoW that we were playing when my husband and I first started talking to each other. Hunger Games, Shel Silverstein. I'm not sure. This is our like wedding guest book. This is one of my Salvador Dali books, and this book is a book that was actually written by a little girl at my church, and we bought it for charity. This is all sheet music of various kinds, mostly sheet music. And like, yeah, a couple yearbooks and yearbooks and sheet music, all sheet music. These are all rocks from Long Island that I grabbed because I liked how they looked. I moved some of these children's books because I was putting my phone up on the bookcase. So just give me a second to put these back. Some library books that need to be returned. These are books about music, I'm pretty sure. These two shelves are all reference books of various types. Music, puppies, hymn books from church, art references, music references, all sorts of reference books. Reference books for days. They're the boring books. Less boring is my historical fiction shelf. So we have lots of Philippa Gregory. This is not all of my Philippa Gregory either. I can't find a couple of my books. Philippa Gregory. We've got the Marie Antoinette trilogy that I really love by Juliet Gray. And yes, my Chucks and my Scrapbook Expo are on the floor. I also play piano and sing. And we all have music. Some of the Outlander books. I don't know where the rest of them are. Dune. This one's actually a biography. These two are novels. This is a biography. This is a biography. And this is that Hamilton like special edition book. This is from leftovers from building this. We actually still have to finish screwing them into the wall. Okay, these are like my classics. So I would love the Dark Tower series. I have read the Dark Tower. Just give me some time, Kaylin. We'll get there. So it's like copies of this is the first edition of Animal Farm my dad gave me that's all jacked up, but it's still my favorite. Little Men, You know, I've got different books, Ramayana, 100 Years of Solitude, the Bhagavad Gita, Little Women, another Salvador Dali book because he's my favorite artist. E. E. Cummings is my favorite poet. Flannery O'Connor is my favorite short story author. Harold Pinter is my favorite playwright. Like, I have a lot of favorites. This book, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, I love this book. This book is fantastic. The Lottery. I love most of these books. Some of these books, I got a lot of Shakespeare over here. This is all Shakespeare, and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. These are all children's books of like big honkin' ones. Over here, this one, if you guys did not get this one is fucking rad. A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo from not the Daily Show, John Oliver. It's awesome. Oops, I'm sitting on something. Okay, here's some of my like pop fiction. Is the Rebecca book fiction? It absolutely is, and it's it's like a gothic romance horror novel. So you got like, you know, Michael Crichton and Fight Club and LA Confidential. You got the Hannibal books and more Michael Crichton. I used to have a lot more James Patterson, but I lent them to my brother-in-law and never got them back. You know, so various of these things. And then I'm going to slide onto the ground. Oof! These are all like written by a lady, except for like one of them. Feel like fiction. I just also like to read like popular fiction. So, you know, you got things like The Girl on the Train and Gone Girl. Dude, I read this. This book I did not enjoy this, and I kept it to remind myself that I did not enjoy this. I read this for book club. Crazy Rich Asians, A Simple Favor. I'm also rereading Big Little Lies right now. That normally lives on this shelf. Amy Tan. Here's some of the Sookie Stackhouse books. And then V.C. Andrews for fucking days. I'm actually not a huge fan of Anne Rice. I just don't like her writing style very much. So this is all V.C. Andrews. And then some of my favorite books from when I was a kid that I hung on to. I got rid of all my Babysitter's Club books because I just wasn't reading them anymore. But I love them. But like Island of the Blue Dolphins, The Westing Game, A Wrinkle in Time, The Secret Garden, the Ramona books, fucking The Cat Ate My Gym Suit is the shit, Roald Dahl's books, Beverly Cleary. These were all books that I loved when I was younger, and I hung on to them. And then while I'm sitting down here, the final corner is Stephen King for days. Speaking of the Dark Tower. A lot of my hardcover Stephen King books, including Dark Tower books, etc. Lots of hardcover Stephen King. And then these are all of my paperback Stephen King books. Right here. Lots of Stephen King. Do I have House of Sand and Fog? I don't. One of my favorite of all of my Stephen King books that I own, not my favorite book to read, but my favorite book to look at, is this copy of Salem's Lot. You can see how it's got the embossed child's face with the one drop of blood on it. And then it just has this on the side. I love this paperback. I think this is sexy. And then I also have this one. It's the shiny. It's all worn out now, but it's the shiny version of The Shining. And then I have the Carrie one where you open it and it's... I think the thing fell out. Nope, just kidding. Here it is. You open it and there's like the town burning. And then you open it to the back and there's the burnt ashes of the town. And then, where's the other one? That's awesome. Misery. Oh! So this one with Misery in the book, he's writing like a romance novel. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, it fell out. So this is the other cover inside of my copy of Misery. Yeah. I love these ones. They get all worn out because I reread them, but I love them. I love them. Love them, love them. And this copy of It is like my fourth copy. I have a falling apart hardcover copy somewhere, and I've run through other paperbacks and worn them out. I saw a question about the kidney. There's an article about the wearable kidney. Yes, they're working on it at UCSF. They're working on a couple of different artificial kidney solutions. And right now, where they're going is that they're going to just help you with avoiding dialysis for a while. But I'm hoping that when my kids get older, it's going to be awesome for them. Okay, we got Harry Potter. I'm missing one and I don't know where it is. Harry Potter, a compilation A couple of the Divergent books, and then these books, Justin Cronin's The 12, The City of Mirrors, and The Passage. The TV show's okay. The books are fucking fantastic. The Passage trilogy, 10 out of 10. Recommend this if you like scary vampires. It's awesome. And then here is some of my fantasy, hardcover fantasy mostly, but not all. These are like some big like coffee table like books for George R.R. Martin, Harry Potter, and the Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time books, George R.R. Martin books, and these are all Wheel of Time up on top. There's Song of Ice and Fire over there. I did not watch all of the Divergent movies. I watched 2 of them. I liked the first one. I didn't like the second one. I never watched the last ones. And then here are some more fantasy books. The Sword of Truth, which is the most ridiculous fantasy series I've ever read. The Mists of Avalon, which I love, even though I know that she's a terrible person, but I still love this book. The rest of the Sword of Truth. Here's a couple of the Once and Future King is a great King Arthur. These are both really excellent fantasy. The Giver, The Princess Bride, Sir Gawain, and the Green Knight. And then up here are my graphic novels and comics. This is not my whole comic collection. I used to have a lot more than this. But I have like The Watchmen, I've got The Tick, Sin City, The Crow, Squee and Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, Strangers in Paradise. A lot of this is Strangers in Paradise right here. But I actually have the tattoo down here, that like flower tattoo. That's my tattoo that I have. Is this. It's actually the one from inside the book, though, I think. I can't remember. And Katie's name is from this graphic novel. Oops, go back in. And, of course, I've got The Dark Knight Rises and The Dark Knight Strikes Back. A couple of other random books. And then these are just some horror novels that have made their way up here, or other novels. And then this book is The Jam. And then these are the only Anne Rice books I ever got into, was the Interview with the Vampire ones. Marion Zimmer Bradley. She was a terrible person, apparently. But the book is so good. Yeah. So those are all my books. I have more books somewhere in the garage, but I don't know where they are. Have I read the Tank Girl graphic novels? I have not. Whoa! Sorry, Loki. I didn't mean to scare you. I scared myself, too. Oh, I forgot. I have more books over here. Just kidding. I was wondering where the rest of my books were. They're over here. I'm back on the floor. So, here. These are a lot of my, like, social justice kind of books. Oriented, like, I've got White Fragility. I don't think White Fragility. No, it is in here. The Third Reconstruction. Where is it? This one is incredible. So these are a lot of my, like, social justice books. And then these are a lot of my, like, businessy type books. I have a couple biographies. I usually just check those out from the library. But these are like business style books or whatever. Branding, whatnot. These are also kind of businessy style books. And then there's just some random art books that are too big. And then I will, if I can get RJ to turn his music down so I don't get demonetized, I will show you my art books that I have, because I have some more art books that are actually out by my desk. And that's the last of my books, I think, that I've got kind of organized. RJ, will you pause it for a second? Because I just want to show them the books that are out here and I don't want to get demonetized. Just pause it for a hot minute. Yeah, I will in just a minute. They just got shots today, so they're both not feeling great. All right. Yeah, I do like reading biographies. I usually just check them out from the library. So I got a lot of art books and such in here. Lettering, fonts. I've got another animation book in the other room. Various art, anatomy, etc. And then these are some sketchbooks.
What are you streaming on?
My phone.
Oh my God, Mom.
Do I have Hunger by Roxane Gay? I don't, but I want it. Race Talk is excellent. There's another one that I have that's on Kindle that's about looking through at the Ten Commandments through the lens of social justice. I'm working on that one now. I can't remember what it's called, though. I'll let you guys know if I can find it. A couple of animation books that were recommended to me by my animation teacher were this one, The Animator's Survival Kit. It helps you a lot with movement. That one is excellent.
You show them your shelf?
My shelf, yes. Anyway, yeah, the 10 Commandments book, I will post that in my Instagram stories as soon as I find the title of it. It's excellent so far. It's just reframing the 10 Commandments from a social justice and like activism kind of like saying like you can live these out but in different ways. I like the whimsical art of lettering. That's one that I actually do like. Anyway, you guys, I got to get going. So I will answer. I promise you I will be back on live on Sunday, and I will be back a few days this week for videos. So you'll see me around. You will likely see me live more often than not just because it's easier because I don't have to edit. So that's a good thing, right? Can I do a top 10 favorite art books? Probably could. Not right now, but I probably could. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. For those of you who didn't catch the beginning, the gist of this announcement is I have to go back in for more surgery on my fistula, and so I am going to cut my videos down to 2 to 3 times per week, plus whatever lives get sprinkled in, until the end of July when my book deadlines have been met, and I don't feel like a whirling dervish anymore. You guys are amazing. Hopefully I'll see you Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time for a live plan with me with puffy stickers. So help me God. Hasta la vista, you guys. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks.